You ever notice how some moments don't look important at first? How they start so small you almost miss them. And then later you realize that was the exact second everything broke wide open. Yeah, that happened here. On a quiet afternoon, on a clean little street with a plastic table, a pitcher of lemonade, and a kid who thought the world mostly made sense. It was hot that day, one of those sticky afternoons where the air doesn't move and everything feels louder than it should. Naya was 9 years old, sitting behind her lemonade stand at the corner like she'd been taught leg swinging, counting dollar bills that were already a little damp from the heat. She wasn't loud, wasn't running around, wasn't bothering anyone. Just a kid doing what kids have done forever, selling lemonade and dreaming big. In her case, dreaming about piano lessons. Her mom worked long hours and Nia wanted to help. That's it. No crime, no chaos, just a child trying to earn something she loved. Then the patrol car slowed down. You know that sound when a car rolls just a little too slow, engine idling like it's deciding something? Nia looked up and saw Officer Ryan Cole staring at her from behind the windshield. No smile, no nod, just that look. If you've ever been on the wrong end of authority, you know the look I mean. The one that says you've already been judged and the trial already happened somewhere in their head. He rolled down the window and barked, "You got permission to be out here." Nia froze. That kid freeze. She stood up too fast, knocking over a stack of cups, heart racing, even though she didn't know why yet. "Sir," she said, quiet. Ryan stepped out of the car, slowly, heavy boots, hand adjusting his belt. Fingers hovering near his holster like a warning he didn't need to say out loud. "Permit," he said. "City ordinance. You can't sell without authorization." "I'm just selling lemonade," Nia said. "It's for my piano lessons." He laughed short and sharp. "I don't care what it's for. Do you even live here?" There it was. That question. The one that sounds innocent if you've never been asked it and feels like a slap if you have. Nia pointed behind her toward the brick house with blue shutters. "That's my house. My mom bought it." Ryan looked at the house, then back at her and shook his head. "Sure it is." "I'm not lying," she said, her voice cracking now. "My mom lives there." "Don't raise your voice at me," he snapped, even though she hadn't. Then without warning, he kicked the table. The pitcher flew shattered on the sidewalk, lemonade splashing everywhere, coins scattering and rolling into the gutter. Nia dropped to her knees, crying hands scrambling for her money, the money she'd been so proud of. She cut her finger on the glass and gasped, staring at the blood mixing with the lemonade like she couldn't understand how things had gone wrong so fast. "Public safety hazard," Ryan said flatly. "Now pack it up and get out of here before I decide you're loitering." "I'm telling my mom," Nia sobbed. That's when his face changed. Because it wasn't about rules anymore. It was about control. He grabbed her arm, hard fingers digging in, and she screamed, twisting, trying to pull away. "You're resisting," he growled. "You want to ride in the back of my car." "No, please, you're hurting me," she cried. He dragged her to the cruiser and slammed her small body against the back door. The sound echoed down the street, metal and bone, and silence afterward that felt too heavy. A neighbor shouted from a porch something like, "She's just a kid," and Ryan turned and pointed like a weapon. "Back inside unless you want to charge too." He snapped one cuff onto Nia's wrist. She was hyperventilating now, tears everywhere, cheek pressed against the hot metal of the car. "Mommy," she screamed, "Mommy!" And that's when the SUV came in fast. Not slow, not polite. Fast. It cut across the street and stopped sideways in front of the cruiser, blocking it completely. The door flew open and a woman stepped out. She didn't run. She didn't yell. She walked, calm, focused, wearing a dark blazer, hair pulled back, tight sunglasses hiding her eyes. "Step away from my child," she said. Ryan turned annoyed. He saw a black woman in a suit and made his assumptions instantly. "This is an active police situation," he barked. "Back up or you'll be arrested too." She took off her sunglasses slowly. Her name was Andrea Carter, and she wasn't just Nia's mom. She was a federal protective operations commander trained for crisis, trained to read threats, trained to stay calm when everything is on fire. "I said release my daughter," Andrea repeated, voice lower now, sharper. "She's under arrest," Ryan said. "Solicitation, resisting." Andrea looked at the bruising grip on Nia's arm, the broken glass, the blood. "You are detaining a minor on her own property without cause," she said. "Undo that cuff." Ryan laughed. "You don't tell me how to do my job. Get on the ground. Hands behind your head." He reached for his taser. "And yeah, that happened. I am a federal agent," Andrea said calmly, pulling out her credentials. "And you are assaulting my family." Ryan raised the taser anyway. "Sure you are." That's when the air changed. Sirens in the distance, but not local. 3 black SUVs appeared from both ends of the street, moving like they knew exactly where to be. A helicopter thudded overhead, rattling windows. Doors opened and agents poured out tactical gear, weapons raised, moving in sync in a way that made everything else look sloppy. "Drop the weapon," a voice commanded. "Now!" Ryan froze. He looked around and saw his backup officers already stepping away, hands up. They understood immediately. This wasn't a bluff. This wasn't something he could talk his way out of. The taser hit the ground. Ryan dropped to his knees. Zip ties replaced his authority. Andrea rushed to Nia, pulling her into her arms, whispering that she was safe, that it was over, that Mom was here. The neighborhood watched in silence as the man who thought he owned that street was loaded into a federal vehicle. By nightfall, the video was everywhere. A teenager across the street had filmed the whole thing. The shove, the cuffs, the arrival, millions of views overnight. Ryan Cole's name trended for all the wrong reasons. He was fired within hours, no pension, no union. Federal charges followed, civil rights violations, assault on a minor, weapon drawn on a federal agent. His wife filed for divorce 3 days later. Andrea didn't celebrate. She stood at a podium days later, Nia beside her holding a small keyboard case. "This isn't about revenge," Andrea said. "It's about accountability." Nia didn't speak. She played. Soft at first, then stronger. And the sound of that music filled the space where fear had been. So here's the question that still makes people uncomfortable. Was justice served because the system worked? Or because the wrong kid had the right mom? Because every neighborhood has rules, every system has power, and most of the time nothing happens until the power messes with someone who can push back. What do you think? Was this karma accountability or just a rare exception? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've ever seen power abused and finally exposed, yeah, tell that story too.